It's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart that goes over the XHB, which covers the home builder sector. So this is a great one to use to follow the housing sector, and then just the overall markets. And for that, I'm going to use the Dow Jones. And with this video, what I'm pretty much going to do is kind of make my case on why I think there's going to be a pullback in the markets. Not anything like a crash or anything like that, but I do think there's a short to medium term pullback here coming. And the reason I think that is by using the charts and comparing what I consider a very important sector being the housing sector. If you compare that with the overall markets, you'll see that there's a clear negative divergence shaping up, and I'll get more into that. But I do want to, kind of throw out there that I'm not saying to go, freak out or anything like that. I'm not saying we're going to crash all the way back down to, those March lows, but I do think there's a pullback coming, mainly just because of this negative divergence that is shaping up. So here we have the XHB, which, like I said, is a good one to monitor the housing sector, and you can see that clearly since right up here, and what we'll do is find this date. This was on September 17th. It peaked out and has been going down since. So now let's hop over to the Dow Jones and find the 17th and see what was going on there. I think this was right. See here, on this day was the 17th, and you can see what's happened. Now the market hasn't gone up, but it's been going sideways. So what we have here is the overall markets, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, they reflect this pretty well, pretty closely, is these markets are just going sideways right now. And right now it's kind of a question of, are we going to channel here? What's going on? Because we've just been kind of going sideways since the XHB peaked out at this point. But if you look over here, like I just pointed at the XHB, you can see that since this point we're just flat out going down. I mean, you can't really argue that this is a downtrend any way you want to slice it. And there's a big difference between going sideways like the overall markets are doing, and then clearly just going down like this. And like an indicator for just a normal stock, when you see these negative divergences, it's one of those things where you want to take note of it, and that's why I'm taking note of this one. Now there's still hope for the XHB, and I'm going to explain that. But just short term, I wanted to show this negative divergence that's been shaping up since the 17th when it peaked out here. And then once again going back to the Dow Jones. Well, let's do this. We'll put up this vertical line here. This is when this peaked out on September 17th. And then hopping back over to the Dow Jones, you can see that on that same day, right there was the 17th. You can see what started to happen. Very clearly, it's not acting the same way, and that's kind of the point I'm getting is I think that the XHB, the housing sector, is going to eventually catch up here and drag down the Dow Jones through these support levels. Now, like I said, are we going to come down all the way and visit there or down there? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that this support line is you'll be falling here in the next few weeks, just because the way the housing sector is acting now. I will completely change my opinion, and the one thing that I'm going to be really monitoring here, and this is actually a great example because it shows the power of charts, is I want to see how it's going to react around this key area. First time it passed the test with flying colors, but as you can see, we have this area right here where we had all this previous price congestion over here. And we had all these highs. This acted as a resistance, and then you can see what happens when it was broken here. It became support. Price came down here, tested it, bounced off. And now just recently, we've had the same thing. The price came down here and bounced off and held. So that was good. But after today and seeing that it still hasn't been able to break this downtrend line, if this support line fails, then really there's going to be quite a bit of a fall before the next support level on the chart. Somewhere right around here would be the next support, and that's a pretty big fall in terms of percentages, and that's going to translate over to the overall markets too. And I don't think, it's clearly the XHB, the housing sector, has dropped more than what the market's been doing, because this is going down. Overall markets are going sideways. But if this level here fails, I think it's time to lock in some of those profits. take what you've made off the table so far and wait for a better buying opportunity because I really feel strongly that the housing sector is the thing that's going to either dictate what's going on. I know the financial sector has been the main cause, but if you think about what caused the financial sector to go bad was just all the bad home loans, the foreclosures, all that stuff is what um, really caused those balance sheets to fall apart. So um, just keep your eye on this. Watch the XHB. Um, Keep an eye on this $14 level, and if this falls and you see the price start to separate, it's looking like, according to the chart, the next support level is not till down here at 13. So that's be a continued small fall, and flipping back over to the Dow. If that all happens, like I said, my guess would be this support line fails, and we'd probably come down and at least test this one, and maybe even come down and test 9,000. So, like I said, um, I'm not saying it's gonna fall to pieces, but I would not be surprised to see 9,000 here tested, or maybe even 8,500 tested if the XHB can't hold that level that I just pointed out. So kind of this all goes out the window and doesn't really matter if the XHB can hold that level and bounce nicely. So if we see something where we come down here again and bounce off and then just crush through this trend line, then I think the markets are going to just absolutely soar again and start roaring. But if not, then like I said, this holds true. So my whole kind of premise here is all dependent on this $14 level on the XHB. If this fails, then we'll see. We'll see if my opinion holds up or not. But if we bounce here and then head back upwards, then this is pretty much a waste of my time right now because I think the markets will be just fine and continue on upward. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks. But if you're out there and sitting in some good positions, if this $14 level fails, it may be a good choice to lock in some of those profits and just play it safe and hopefully be able to kind of flip those shares and buy back cheaper. So we'll see what happens. This video definitely wasn't to scare anybody. Just something that I noticed today with this negative divergence in the housing sector compared towards the overall markets, and we'll see what happens. If you do have any other questions, please shoot me a message, and I'll do my best to help you out. I'd also encourage you to check out bullmarketnewsletter.net. If you go there and sign up, you'll be subscribed, and you'll get a free ebook, which has been getting really good reviews. And you'll get all sorts of other things, from trade ideas to chart setups to educational things. I'm sending out an email regarding this, with a little bit more of my opinion, and it's all free, no strings attached, so it's worth at least checking out. So one more time, if you have any other questions, send me an email or whatever. But if not, thanks for listening, and hopefully this 14 level holds on the XHB.